What's up my Nerf friends? Today we will make a tier list for the water units. So recently we just got Bethlehem added to our roster, so I figured I'd make an updated tier list for the water units, and here we are. But before we start, I want to add a new tier because based on my last video, people has been saying I probably need another tier because there's not enough tier right here. So I will add another tier, and I didn't need two. So this tier will be the niche tier. So this tier basically very similar to the good in some stages tier. This will be including unit that is not good, but they are okay in some stages. So they're kind of a little bit better than no one used them because no one uses something you're like, I would never ever use them. But niche is like, okay, maybe there's a 10% chance you would use them. So there's that. I'll put the niche tier below the budget version because that's kind of where they belong. So let's start. First one, Bethlehem, our resident queen of the north. She, as you all know, is a good unit. Not very great on BT0, but on BT3 she is a pretty good unit for a burst team. Able to select tile is definitely not something you want to look down, and it is good, and I have used her to clear the boss for the event, which is the Nightmare Fearmonger, and she does make the stage a little bit easier, and specifically because the boss is a single tile boss, you can select a boss surrounding all four of them and get a really high normal attack damage. I already done the in-depth analysis, so I won't go too in-depth into Bethlehem. She is a good unit. And then we have Battle here, a different Beth. So Battle is also a good unit. So Battle is a detonator that has some sniper capabilities. So the Franco kind of like a sniper abilities. Place it down and you spam a lot of low cooldown abilities, and then it does some damage. Overall, it's quite an okay unit in terms of detonators, but I do think there are better choice, which is why I put her on good, and because she only does damage, pretty easy to be replaced. I do want to say she does work okay in the arena stages because every time your opponent uses ability, Franco will also attack the enemies. So that's pretty interesting, right? And next we have Fleur. Fleur is the summer event unit. He is quite a good unit. I'm tempted to put him in the best unit, but let's just say good for now. He is a very strong sniper, and I'm surprised I actually got him randomly through my summon, and throughout the times I'm testing him, he is good, but I don't think it's a level of best unit yet. Definitely a really great sniper, and you will never regret getting him. And because he is a sniper, global range, and also having a hybrid detonator style damage, which is the splash, you can use him in pretty much all scenarios. But I think in most of the bigger boss, a dedicated detonator will do better than Fleur, but overall solid unit. And then we have Sharona. Sharona from launch until now has been a really good unit for water team and is highly recommended. First of all, she do a lot of damage from chain combo, and she has a really good equipment able to boost her damage up the longer she's in the battlefield, and she has a global teleport on a 3 cooldown basis, and also does a lot of damage on that active skill. So enough said, when you need teleport and damage, you will pick Sharona. It's just a no-brainer. She just does the damage part too well, and on top of that, also having a teleport. Rego, in my opinion, is probably the best water unit. You can disagree, but Rego has been used in many stages so far, and the fact that he can attack diagonally and also having a lot of damage, and the fact that he has this ability stacking mechanics where you can literally just do nothing and then suddenly you kill the boss. It's just such a good unit to have in Alchemy Stars. And also, you don't need any breakthrough for him. After you get him, you pretty much already get a really strong unit, and you get him for free as well. So really good unit. Does need a little bit of support from like other units such as Chloe. Let's see, where's Chloe? Go. Yeah, Chloe. So Chloe can buff Rego up when also Rego is ready to strike with his active skills. This is a great unit. There's also some other unit that can buff Rego. Let me see. I'm pretty sure missblank has an equipment that also buff your team damage. And of course, Bethlehem also can buff your team damage. Rego just a really strong damage powerhouse. That's all. And we have next one, Colleen. Sort of our main heroine of the game. So Colleen is kind of similar with Bethlehem. They have very similar cooldowns. And Colleen also having the ability to teleport and convert a lot of tiles in a single roll. And Colleen actually surprisingly has pretty good stats for a converter as well, and the fact that her equipment can pierce actually able to let her do quite a lot of damage for a big monster, right? Like a 2x2 or 3x3 monsters. Overall, a very solid unit, but you does need maximum breakthrough to reach the preemptive strike, and maximum breakthrough is probably out of reach for most people, and this tier list will be primarily focusing on breakthrough 0 and breakthrough 3 only. So I'll put Colleen on good tier for now because you does need to wait 4 or 3 turns to use that active skill. Next we have Raphael. I think Raphael is a unit that's good in some stages. The problem with Raphael is her cooldown is too long, and sure, you can generate a little bit of water tiles, but other than that, other than the reset mechanic, she doesn't really do much. The heal is kind of minimal, and her damage is not great as well. So her main gimmick is basically to clear off the broken tiles into Shadow Blast stage. Again, you do need to have breakthrough 3, so she is specifically good on those stages, such as Shadow Blast and the Soulfall variant of bosses, you know, the boss that reset the tiles. So whenever the boss reset the tiles, you also get a little bit of healing back because how Raphael equipment works. So that can help you survive a little bit. She's pretty good on those 2 stages, but outside of that, I don't think she's used very much. And I forgot to talk about missblank as well. Missblank is a 4 tile converters. She is pretty good. I mean, she can convert 4 tiles on the cross shape around your team, and she's not as good as a Clayton or Sadio because Clayton or Sadio always generate 4 tiles, but missblank can generate no tiles if your surrounding is already waters, or like 1 to 3 tiles depending on your surroundings. But overall, yeah, it's a solid unit that you get for free. You can use her right away. I don't see many people use her after getting Sadio or Clayton. And then Canali, can Dog buff Canali already? So Canali is a water sniper that I don't really know if she's used that much at all. She is a 6-star sniper. She does quite okay damage for chain combo, but the problem is her cooldown is too long. I believe 4-turn cooldown. What was it? Was it 4-turn? And it doesn't really do much as well. Do some damage, and compared to like converters or other style of converters or detonators, I feel like you just don't have any slot for Canali. And you can argue, yeah, he has the fear every 4 turns, fear like I don't know, like a non-boss unit away, because most boss immune to fear anyway. But the thing is, Clayton also can fear, and Clayton has no cooldown. You just have to hit the enemy. So I don't know. The fear aspect, Clayton does it better. The damage aspect is a lot other water unit does it better. So Canali is kind of just stuck in this either niche or good. I won't even argue she's good in some stages because it doesn't really do much. Let's just say she's budget worship good. I would say she's kind of like a sniper that you can just use when you don't have enough DPS. After you get better unit, you probably will not use Canali. And Sadio. So Sadio is a 4 tile converters. Again, 6-star 4 tile converters. Pretty much the best unit. You use them a lot of the times, and kind of core of the water teams. And then we have the 5-star now. So this is the Alura. She's a welfare unit from Doomfire Strike. So she's actually a decent character. I would say good in some stages. The ability to remove the destroyer tile is quite a unique one. There is no other character that can do it other than Alura, and the damage she dealt is actually pretty decent as well. I'll say she can be a substitute sniper if you don't have Fleur as well. Just a really all-around solid characters. You do a little bit of damage, has some gimmick that only she can do, and that's all you need for a free character in my opinion. And then we have Vice. So Vice is the main poster girl of Alchemy Stars. I do think she's quite good, but not good enough to include in the good tier. The best thing about her is you get the maximum breakthrough for free, and the maximum breakthrough is pretty strong. You get extra damage, and she has a global chain that can hit up to 4 enemies. That is better than Flood already, right? I think that's about it. Her ability can destroy shield pretty well, and you can use her to destroy some of the lackey kind of unit that has like 1 health. But overall, you would not use Vice in everything. She's just specifically good on stages that need multiple hits, but other than that, yeah, just a solid unit. And then we have Noah. Noah, I would say she's a niche character. So Noah is a character that just gain a lot of shield, but that's about it. So far I don't really know if she has a lot of use. I do think she has a lot of potential here with Novio, because Novio can convert shield to health, and Noah get a lot of shield. So maybe on certain stages where your healing is like reduced, your healing factor is reduced, you can use this gimmick to gain shield and then use Novio getting into Aurora time and heal that way. And yeah, definitely has a lot of potential on specific stage, but right now she is pretty niche because getting shield is nice and all, but you kind of want something else than just shield, and her damage is not awesome, just kind of meh. Do keep in mind, I do think she has a lot of potential. When maybe stages get a little bit more difficult, a little bit more strategized focus, I would say Noah is a really good character to keep an eye out for. And then we have Baton. Baton is a cross converter for water team, and one thing Baton also does that no other cross converter does is he can attack diagonally. I think like 30% or something, not sure. It's not 100%, so it's not like crazy damage. And also he is a converter, his stat is pretty low, so don't get too much hope on it. But being a diagonal attacker does mean you can crank up your combo meter more, and that will give your team more multiplier. And his ability, as you all know, cross converter is very strong, and especially very strong when you reach maximum breakthrough. He is pretty usable on breakthrough 3 as well, so I'll put him in the good tier. Obviously, if you do get maximum breakthrough, he is insane, but yeah, let's put him there for now. And then we have Corax. Corax is kind of a budget version of Sharona. They do very similar things. They both have global teleport, they both have 3 cooldowns, they both are detonator style unit. The one thing is slightly different is Corax is a little bit better when you are closer to the enemy, and that would do a lot more damage. And also I do think Corax is a little bit better on fighting enemies with a single tile, and his equipment is also quite unique. You can do critical damage and also hitting twice. Hitting twice does mean you raise the combo meter, so you can support your other team a little bit better, like quote unquote support. Because of that, even though he shares a lot of similarities with Sharona, and I want to put him at good. I do think Corax is very great unit, and if there is for some reason you need 2 teleport in your team, you could use both Sharona and Corax together, and yeah, that's my opinion. And then we have Faiken. So Faiken, without a doubt, is also best unit for water team, and not only he can convert 4 tiles to blue, he also have this spear gimmick that is used to cheese a lot of stages. If you don't know, his equipment, when you level to 10, when monster is below 75% health, and if Clay can attack the unit with chain combo, the unit will be inflicted with fear. And when the unit is inflicted with fear, they basically skip a turn and running away from you. And this can be very useful. I mean, it's a pseudo stun. Unlike Canali, her fear does not have any cooldown. So as long as the enemy is not already feared, you can just keep on fearing them forever. That is really strong. So yeah, a multiple use character, and it's also only 5 stars. You can get her breakthrough, you can get his breakthrough pretty easily. And then we have Hydra. Hydra is the 2-time chainer for water team. Same opinion across all the elements. Across 2-time chainer is great for damage burst team as well. Yeah, press your active seal when you want to burst enemy down, and then you burst the enemy, and specifically very good with Rego as well, because Rego stack all this attack bonus, and then you giving this Rego 2-time chain. That's like nice, just chef kiss damage. And I think Hydra also have this counter attack equipment that is pretty unique, but I don't think it's too strong. So I just find it worth mentioning. He is the only guy that have counter attack. Pretty interesting. And then Fluttershy is definitely a very strong healer for the water team. You don't really only use him in water team, in my opinion. He can be used in almost any team that require a little bit more survivabilities. So she has the highest healing factor in the game, and she also have a teleport to not only heal you and also gain shield based on the amount of enemies surrounding her. And yeah, basically with Fluttershy in your team, it's really hard for you to die unless you get one shot or something. Downside, of course, is Fluttershy don't do any damage other than normal attack, so there's that. Definitely a really strong healer. Micheni is probably in the budget version of good categories. Micheni is, you know what, niche. No, Micheni is 2 cluster resetters, and other than that, nothing else. I'm pretty sure no one really used her other than waifu reason, because she doesn't really apply any status effect like Johnny Boom, which can affect burn, but Micheni just does damage. I mean, and reset, nothing else. So yeah, there's a very small use case you would want to use Micheni, and those use cases would be better off use Raphael. And then we have Jane. Jane is kind of decent. She is a pretty decent sniper. She has this kill reset active skills, which is pretty cool as well. But overall, she does decent damage. Use her if you are just starting out and don't have a great unit yet, but after you get a better unit, you probably will swap her out. All right, so Constantine is probably niche. So Constantine is also a water sniper, and he does damage when there is one enemy, I think. Okay, so Constantine basically buff your team, water team damage by 5% if you only have water unit on your team, and if there's only one enemy on the battlefield. So he's kind of like a buffer and a little bit of sniper damage, because he is a sniper and his active skill only does damage to one enemy, and his equipment is 5% to your team. It's a permanent buff if there's only one enemy. I mean, yeah, pretty niche. You could use him. I would say a little bit similar with Jane, because both are snipers, but Jane has more gimmick for the kill reset cooldown, but Constantine just does damage. That's about it. Yeah, it's a solid unit you can use when you don't have a good unit yet. And we have Kuma and Pengi. Kuma and Pengi is kinda niche. It's definitely similar with Noah, because Kuma and Pengi does have this equipment which buff your team health, and there are some unit that does scale damage based on health, such as Nails. And because he is the only person that's buffed the team health, I feel like he has some potential, and he does do okay damage as well. But overall, I don't think you would want to use Kuma and Pengi other than you want to survive a little bit longer, because that's what the health is for, right? So yeah, that's why he is pretty niche. And then we have 3D. So 3D is a budget teleporters that can teleport twice if you reach Aurora time. Yeah, it's okay. Budget version of good. So there are a lot of teleporters in water team. We have Sharona, Fluttershy, Corax. All these are global teleporters, and 3D is a limited range teleporters. Doesn't really mean she's bad though. She just have a little bit lower chain damage, and the gimmick is cool, but do you really need it? I'm not sure. But overall, I would say you probably should use someone like Sharona or Corax if you have them instead of 3D. But 3D is definitely not bad though. Just get it right. And then we have Gorgon. I'm pretty sure no one really used Gorgon because he is only doing damage, and he is a 3-star. We all know 3-star damage dealer don't really make it to any team, most likely, unless you're just starting out, you have no other unit. But even if you're starting out, you probably already summon some gacha and get some 6-star, whatever. 5 stars. Probably straight up better just using Gorgon. But Gorgon is pretty cute. She really likes cat. He really likes cat, just like me. I also really like cats. Too bad I can't have one because my parents hate animal for some reason. And then we have Zoya. Zoya is a budget healer. If you're just starting out, you have no healers like Fluttershy, you can use Zoya for your water teams. That's pretty much it. He does the healing drop pretty okay. So he has 2 healer. So he has 2 different healing, which is the chain combo and the active skill. Yeah, pretty good. Enough said. But he is a 3 star, so don't invest too much into her. And we have the Lucid. Lucid is very similar to Gorgon, also only does damage. And we have lastly White Dwarf, which is very similar to these 2 units, but I would say because he has this folding gimmick, yeah, a little bit better, just a little bit. But overall, you probably won't really use White Dwarf unless you are trying to do a 3-star comp. And then I think White Dwarf is okay, but that's a meme comp, not really worth mentioning too much. So that concludes the tier list for the water units. If you want to watch my other tier list, I'll put the video on the screen right now. That's it for me today. I'll see you all next video. Peace.